Hi, friends. Listen, I'm sitting here reading about Hagar. If you don't know, this was the bondwoman or the concubine of Abraham and Sarah. I'm going to tell you something. What I've learned is this. It's interesting because we recognize Hagar as the allegory of the bondwoman, okay? Bondage, the old covenant, and Sarah and her son, the new covenant. But let's look at this because it says, I think I'm reading here in Galatians 4, starting around 22. And it says, "For it is written that Abraham had two sons, one by the slave woman and the other by the free woman. His son by the slave woman was born according to the flesh, but his son by the free woman was born as a result of a divine promise," which is the new covenant. Okay, so in Galatians, it gives us an allegory of the two women. The slave girl and her son are bondage. Okay, it means bondage to the law, but to the whole sinful condition of humanity. All right. While this is the case, Hagar and her children are, in the allegory, are exiled from the body of Christ and from heaven itself, those who are under bondage. Okay, so I want to just start off with the allegory so you know what we're talking about. But I want to look at Hagar because I learned this and I just thought I'd share it. Even though this is what the allegory shows in reality to contrast the old and new covenants, it's interesting that Hagar was a woman and a person that we can look at aside from the picture that's painted of her in the story. Okay, so I just want us to look at this young, vulnerable woman. She's a young woman that's from Egypt. She has no protection in this world because she's enslaved. And I don't know how Sarah acquired her. I hate to even say that about another human being. But it could have been that situation with the Pharaoh that they encountered while they were there, and he gave her the girl. But nevertheless, here she is, a young woman who she has no protection. She has no choice in anything in a matter of what she eats, where she sleeps, and now she has no choice in being given to Abraham as his wife. Now, this story has layers because when I think about her, she's young and maybe attractive, and Abraham doesn't question. He jumps on this idea of his wife Sarah too quickly. So she doesn't have a choice in being his wife and bearing his child. All right, so now that she becomes pregnant, her attitude changes. All right, she gets a little haughty, let's say. But I blame Sarah and Abraham because these are men and women of God, and Sarah is the much older, mature one. She should have looked out for Hagar. Excuse me. She should have taken better care of Hagar. Okay, I know the little girl got haughty when she got pregnant and saw that she was carrying the master's baby and Sarah wasn't. Sarah could have treated that situation and treated her differently, and could have changed and turned around that whole attitude. Because as older women, with younger women, we're supposed to be wiser, and we are wiser. And so we have a lot of experience that we could teach the younger women. All right, so Sarah didn't do that. So Hagar's not protected. She gets beside herself. You know the story. She just gets beside herself with Sarah. Sarah can't take it. Okay, now she is getting a little jealous, even though this was her story, and now she's getting a little jealous because the girl is getting haughty, and she goes and cries now to Abraham. Well, Abraham, he's not really accepting this girl as a wife because he tells Sarah, she's your maid, do what you want with her. And does Sarah ever do what she wants with her? She treats the girl so harshly that the young woman runs away, pregnant, and runs away. And she runs away to the wilderness. Now, the thing that got me was I didn't realize this at first. I don't know if you have or not, but listen. The first time an angel actually appears to someone is to Hagar in Genesis 16. Now in Genesis 15, when the angel comes to Abraham, her master, it's in a dream and by voice. This young woman gets the, I don't know if I could say the pleasure. I mean, this is an awesome pleasure. Her master doesn't get this until chapter 22. An angel doesn't appear to Abraham until chapter 22. An angel first appears to Hagar, the little servant girl who has no protection, no autonomy, no anything. And he appears to her in the wilderness and shows her divine favor. Okay? And in Genesis 16, 7-9, it says this: the angel of the Lord found Hagar near a spring in the desert. It was in this spring that she was beside the road of Shur. I guess that's how you say that. Listen. And he said, Hagar, slave of Sarah, keeping her position in her mind. He could have just said Hagar, but he's reminding her, okay, where have you come from and where are you going? I'm running away from my mistress Sarai, she answered. Then the angel of the Lord told her, go back to your mistress and submit to her. All right. So he tells her to go back and submit to her. I just thought that was interesting that the angel came to her. You know why the angel came to her? This is what I learned in this. While everything in her life seems impossible and she's just at her wit's end and she feels like nobody cares, the God of heaven does. When no one sees her for the person that she is, God cares. Yah sent an angel to this woman. He came to her in her fear. He came to her in her desolation and desperation. He saw her. And the thing of it is, she realized that she had never been seen before. And so, as a result, recognizing that God sees her, this is what she says. Listen, in Genesis 16:13, it says, she gave his name of Yahuwah, who spoke to her. This is what she says, y'all. You are the God who sees me. For she said, I have now seen the one who sees me. And in that, she calls him El Ra'i. El Ra'i in Hebrew, the God of seeing. God had seen her. God had seen her. And so somebody out there feels unseen, unheard, unworthy. There's a God in heaven. His name is Yahuwah, and he has an only begotten son. And his son is Yahusha, or Jesus. He sees you. He sees you just like he saw this little slave girl. So go back, read the story. Submit yourself to him and not to this person. Submit yourself to him, for he sees you and he's there to hear you. I just thought that was so beautiful because I've read that story so many times, but that slipped past me. And I just wanted to share it with you. I hope if you've seen that before, then fine. If not, I just wanted to share that with you. El Ra'i, the God of the seeing, the God who sees. May God bless you and have a wonderful day.